Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It's your girl, the Venusian Bull. I am back again, and we are at the culmination of the Planets in the Houses series because we are now going to be discussing the ethereal, majestic, mystical, spiritual 12th house. Yes, that's what we are getting into. So, you know how we do an introduction video. First off, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you go ahead and click that like button, and we engage over here. We discuss in the comments, so make sure you go ahead and do that as well, okay? So to kind of give a brief overview of the 12th house, and it's kind of difficult to give a brief overview of the 12th house because it's just so deep and there's so many things. It's a very multifaceted house, and there's a lot of different components to the 12th house, and throughout the planets I will be discussing different facets of the 12th house. So if I happen to forget something in one video, just don't forget to watch them all, okay? I tell y'all this in all of the videos, and also be sure that understand that these are general characteristics, and everything may not apply to you specifically because depending on what sign you have on the 12th house cusp, what aspects the specific planet is making, and things of that nature. So you have to keep that in mind. I always say that, I always stress that, okay? So the generalization of the 12th house. This is a very, like I mentioned before, this is a spiritual house. This is a mystical house. This is a house of creativity. This is a house of compassion. This is a house of artistic expression and talent of all of the arts. We're talking performing arts, visual arts, film, editing, all of that type of stuff, anything beauty related, hair, makeup, all of that type of thing. Obviously, this is a house that's big on spirituality, so anything having to do with astrology or tarot, this is like the quintessential, you know, head wrap lady kind of woman energy with the candles burning the sage, okay? This is the 12th house. That's her. That's this energy, okay? And you know, the 12th house is very akin to Pisces, okay? So a lot of these traits are going to be similar if you happen to have Pisces placements or heavy Neptunian energy as well, okay? So also, to kind of get on the negative end of Pisces, of the 12th house, this house also has to deal with imprisonment, has to deal with addiction, it has to deal with delusions and, you know, like delusions of grandeur, seeing things with rose-colored glasses, being too idealistic, putting people up on a pedestal and things like that. This also has to deal with homelessness. This has to deal with isolation. It has to deal with like mental health issues. It can literally have to deal with you drowning, like physically, because this house does represent the ocean and deep waters and things of that nature. This house also represents dreams, okay? Very prophetic dreams. So if you happen to have heavy 12th house energy, make sure you're paying attention to your dreams because that stuff just might come true, okay? It may come to fruition. This is a very intuitive house. This house, if you have this energy, you know about things that are going to happen before they happen. This is a very sensitive energy. You feel people's energy and you can tell if it's toxic or not, but just make sure, you know, that you're using discernment, you know, because rose-colored glasses and all of that type of stuff, okay? So, you know, just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some things, but we'll get into all of the logistics of the 12th house and the deep ocean of secrets. Oh, secretive. Forgot to mention that. This house is very secretive, and it can also be kind of like, you know, aloof and things like that, and just, you know, kind of subdued and kind of quiet and things of that nature. And we can't forget about, unfortunately, the thievery and the cheating and the stealing and things of that nature. But it does provide some insulation, so you can be protected with this energy as well if you use it right. Okay, so we're going to get into all of the logistics of that. I'm sure that as I go through the planets, I'm going to cover everything, I promise y'all. So make sure you stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe, and we're going to get into the planets in the 12th house. All right. All right, so in this video, we are going to be discussing Mars in the 12th house, okay? So having Mars in the 12th house is similar to having Mars in Pisces or having Aries or to a lesser extent Scorpio on the 12th house cusp. But we'll get into Scorpio in the 12th house when we talk about Pluto. Mars in the 12th house. Okay, so this is quite a peculiar placement for Mars. This is not really like the happiest place for Mars in the 12th house, because Mars is all about, aggression and action and assertiveness. And the 12th house can be very like timid and mild and, soft spoken and, just kind of weak, kind of meek, if we're being truthfully honest. So your Mars is really not operating the way that it should if it's in the 12th house. It's not that go-getter, get-up type of attitude. First of all, your ass gonna be sleep all the time. And Mars doesn't really like to sleep. But you know who likes to sleep? 12th house energy. 12th housers. That's who likes to sleep. So, one thing I will say about Mars in the 12th house, you need your sleep to be energized. You need your sleep to have energy to be able to do anything. If you are not getting 8 to 10, then people are not getting anything. 8 to 10 hours to be specific. People are not getting anything out of you because you don't have anything to give. Your energy can be drained very, very quickly, okay? So when it comes to Mars in the 12th house and we're dealing with like demons and spirits and things like that, they can actually have the capability of sucking all of your energy out, or they can like infuse you with energy. It's very weird. It's a very like spiritual kind of like out of body experience. You know what I'm saying? And it can kind of like mess with your like physicality a little bit, like when I discussed Mercury in the 12th house, it was kind of like a multiple personalities, like multiple, voices, and things like that. And you basically become different people. With Mars in the 12th house, it's like your physicality can be different, depending on what type of energies that you're around and things like that. You definitely, I would say when it comes to like working out or being active, I would say do things that make you have some sense of like serenity. So like like running by the beach. I always say anything by water is great. Running by the beach and lakes and oceans and streams, but make sure you stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. I can't say that enough for 12th house energy, okay? So anything that has to deal with water. Also, I have neglected to mention this in my 12th house videos, but 12th house people love themselves some animals, okay? Get yourself a little companion, or actually, if you got Mars in the 12th house, you got 12th house energy, you probably want a big pet. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe just start out with a little dog or something like that. Well, it might be a big dog. Maybe you got a golden retriever, you got it as a puppy, and there's a big dog. But you need that pet can actually be a motivator for you to kind of work out, especially if it's a dog, because you can like run with dogs and stuff like that and things of that nature. Dancing, dance your little heart out. Dance your little heart out. That is probably the best way to work out for Mars in the 12th, because it's still like artistic expression, but you sweating it out, girl. Like you're sweating it out, and you're stretching your limbs, and you're stretching your arms, and you're stretching your body, and you're getting your cardio in. So dancing is a great way to do that. And people with Mars in the 12th house can be really great dancers. That is like, I would say, probably the best form and most effective form of physicality when it comes to someone with Mars in the 12th house. So like trying to play like sports like basketball, football, and stuff like that isn't really going to suit you. You know what I'm saying? So doing something like, dancing, and it could be really any kind of dance. It could be break dancing, you know what I mean? And it could be ballet, you know what I'm saying? But anything where you can, artistically express yourself and burn calories at the same time. It's kind of great. It's kind of amazing. You know what I'm saying? So definitely keep that in mind as well. Another thing with Mars in the 12th house is that your drive and your kind of will to do stuff, it's kind of similar to like Mars and like the fourth, like Mars and Cancer. It's just it has to be, you have to be inspired. You know what I'm saying? You have to be in the mood. You're not someone who feels like getting up for work, going to nobody's 9 to 5 job or something like that. Frankly, you probably shouldn't even have a 9 to 5 job, because you're probably going to sleep in and be late every day and they're going to fire you anyway. So that's that 12th house energy. Come on, y'all. Y'all love to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if there's a job that you could do where you could sleep. You know, and I mentioned P Valley a lot, but let me explain this real quick, okay? Stripping actually might be actually good, because it's, you know, dancing, and it brings that sexual element of Mars in there too. But within the strip club, when I was watching P Valley, one of them episodes, literally the guy, one of the girls that was a stripper in the club, one of her like regulars, one of her clients or whatever, loved to just watch her lay there and sleep, because he was an anesthesiologist, and apparently watching people sleep gets him off. So he's literally like, he's making it rain on this girl, okay? And she is sleeping, okay? So if you could find something like that to do, you will get up to go to sleep and get paid. So I'm just saying, I'm trying to, like, Mars in the 12th house, this is a very unconventional type of energy. It's not normal Mars type of stuff. It's not normal Martian type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's all about doing it through a spiritual lens, an artistic lens, and I have to be inspired, and intuitively this has to make sense, and this has to be the right energy and the right surroundings and the right feng shui. Like, y'all are all about feng shui and like the energy of the room and like the aura and stuff like that. And you could be like, nah, I can't work here, or I can't run here, or I can't dance here, or I can't sing here, I can't express myself. Like, y'all will make up all of the excuses, child. Okay. So find something that you can do that definitely allows you to have creative expression, artistic expression, because that is actually when you're going to be the most productive. And Mars is about being productive. The 12th house is not. But if you're doing something where it is artistic, whether you're drawing, you know, animation. I feel the animation theme coming back again. Doing that, you could just be a really, really great visual artist and be able to pretty much draw anything, you know, with this placement. And obviously singing, dancing, and even if you're like acting, I would say this is a really great placement for acting, because it allows you to get in touch with your different moods, your different emotions, your different like characters, you know, within yourself. So I think that that's also really good for Mars in the 12th house. Okay, so we're going to get a little dark here. All right. Mars in the 12th house, they don't really have like a lot of control over their actions. It's very much like kind of like an outsider thing that's like coming in. Like, so other people can control how you act in certain situations a lot. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, there's always just like this kind of power over you, because Mars in the 12th house, the Mars energy is diminished. You know, that confidence, that just fire and that tenacity is just kind of diminished, and you in a lot of instances need others, you need that pickup to really like get you to wake the fuck up, like, and to make it literal, you know what I'm saying? You need that pick me up. So definitely make sure you have people around you, because you're always assessing people's energy now. Okay, you're always doing that. You got your sage ready to get rid of the negative energy too. Okay, and embrace the positive energy, but assess the people that are around you and see if they're actually, you know, looking out for your best interests, because you know how you are. You know it's difficult for you to be motivated, so you need to be around motivating type of people. You need to be around people. You don't want to be around yes people all the time that tell you you're great at everything and you don't need to change. You need to be around people that's going to give it to you real, that's going to give you constructive criticism and let you know where, you know, you're your weaknesses and your strengths lie and things like that. Also, Mars in the 12th, I always say that 12th house energy is kind of slick and stuff like that, and they are, but there's still a little bit of that rebellious energy because it is Mars, and 12th house energy is susceptible, to being imprisoned, and being arrested and things like that. So, when you get that surge of inspiration and this just like all of a sudden you just might be like, you want to do something and, you may not know it's illegal and then you get caught, or you may know it's illegal, but you think you could slip through the cracks because you can, you could swim out of that. Swim. That's another thing. Go swimming. Great exercise and y'all love it. You know what I'm saying? Michael Phelps, that shit, okay? Or what's the black girl's name? Her name is Simone, not Simone Biles. She's the gymnast. Gymnast, also do that as well. But the swimming, because you love the water, but swimming as like a competitive sport is probably the best type of sport that you could do. Swimming and diving, synchronized swimming is actually also very good for Mars in 12th house. Okay, so I just had to say that. But yes, the imprisonment thing can be an issue just because you can be kind of oblivious and kind of aloof to like what you actually did wrong. You could be like, well, spirit led me to this and I don't feel like spirit is ever wrong. So, why am I getting arrested? And you just have this real calm, chill energy about you. Your Mars is not abrasive. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's more like you know what I'm saying? It's like that. So people don't really get that, like, why they can't really like get you upset. And it's not that you don't have emotions, because you do. Obviously, your Mars is in the 12th house, but it's more of like you being aloof than anything else. Not you necessarily being like manipulative or something like that. Unless you got Mars and Scorpio in the 12th, then that may be a little bit of a different story. You might be a little bit manipulative, especially when it comes to, the spiritual practices and things like that. So also another thing, anything that has to deal with divination practices, and I've mentioned this in several of the videos, astrology, tarot, mediumship, and stuff like that, are great avenues for you to be able to be productive while still being able to feed that kind of like that spiritual thing that you need to feed within you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, get spiritually active. That's the best way I can describe Mars in the 12th house. Get spiritually active and, see where, your beliefs lie. Try different things, explore different things. Spirituality has no boundaries. That's what I always say about 12th house and Pisces energy. So definitely, explore that and explore, your ability to be, to have those artistic expressions and things of that nature. Also, Mars in the 12th house. Be wary of any type of negative, like male energy you may receive. And this could be for man, woman, non-binary, whoever. It's not about like necessarily a romantic connection per se, but this could be energy that you could attract in somewhat not so great kind of ways, or kind of toxic ways. It could be men that you work with. It could be men in your family, or it could be a significant other. So just be wary of that. When it comes to sex with Mars in the 12th, I'm going to be honest. Sex isn't like a really big deal for Mars in the 12th house, in terms of like needing it to like, to be, they do see it as a spiritual, type of connection and things like that. But the ironic part is that you can, because the 12th house, does have to deal with homelessness, you can find yourself destitute on the streets. So you may have to resort to sex work or something like that in order to get by. But in terms of like priorities on your list, in terms of like what you need to sustain your life, what you need in a partner and stuff like that, like sex isn't very high on the list. You are definitely a candidate for being someone who could be like asexual and that type of energy. Demisexual, I believe that's where you have to have an emotional connection with someone in order to have sex with them. So that's another thing. And actually, you could almost like be like a nun and just like never have sex. Like that's this type of energy. This is not like a very like sexual, like promiscuous, like all of this is not. Mars in the 12th ain't that, except for unless maybe it's in Scorpio or Aries, and even then it's more subdued than it would be in other houses. So I just want to put that out there. So, but if you are someone who enjoys sex, you're very much about the spiritual aspect of sex. Like you're someone who could probably have like orgasms without actually touching people or yourself. Like it's almost like a spiritual orgasm or something. I don't know. Y'all probably be having sex with ghosts and stuff and spirits and things. Like they be entering your body. I remember I read Bobby Brown's autobiography, and I don't know if this is true or not. Or whatever. And I'm not even positive he has 12th house energy. I have to double check that. I know he has a ton of 8th house energy though. But he said something about how he has sex with a demon or a spirit or something like that or whatever. So I say all that to say that Mars in the 12th house, yes, you may have sex with the demons and the spirits and stuff. They may be in human form. Or it may just like be the actual demon or spirit. You could be asleep because 12th house energy likes to sleep, and they could very like Rosemary's Baby type your ass. Like it's like the devil coming in, and this is like the worst kind of negative energy. It's like Satan coming in and taking over your body and having sex with you, and then all of a sudden like you're pregnant. You'd be like, I don't remember having sex. I've been celibate for years. Like, when did I have sex? How the hell did I get pregnant? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's kind of, this is a very interesting placement when it comes to sexual expression, because Mars is about sexual expression, and it's very difficult to express it. It's very secretive about pretty much anything. 12th house energy is just secretive in general, but especially about their sex life, especially about what it is that they may want sexually in a partner. They may be too shy or too embarrassed to say anything. And I forgot to mention, speaking of embarrassment, this is a placement where you may like experience, some type of like humiliation in your life, unfortunately. It's just one of those, like I said before, it's kind of an energy that you don't have a lot of control over and a lot of like free will, except for when it kind of comes to your like artistic expression and like spiritual connection that way. So, when it comes to like certain things, like someone could film you having sex with them and you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because 12th house has to deal with film and video as well. They could film you getting drunk off your ass and passing out. Or maybe you got drunk off your ass and you did, under the influence and under duress, did all of these, crazy sexual favors to other people. I don't know. It could just be a lot of stuff. So watch the cameras. And I should say that about everybody in the 12th house, any placement in 12th house. Just watch them cameras, okay? Because because you're a very private person. You're a very secretive person. You don't want people knowing your shit. You don't want people knowing about anything that could be problematic in your life, okay? So be wary. You may even be like doing pictures like this. You don't even want to show your face. You don't even want that facial recognition to even be a thing, okay? You kind of want to be like, this free-flowing kind of like spirit where you can kind of come and go as you please type of energy. You kind of want to be like discreet. You don't really want people to know who you are. You want people to know your talents and things like that, but you kind of want to be a mystery a little bit. But yeah, I would just say definitely be wary of the cameras and people, trying to take advantage of you because you are like soft spoken and weak and meek, and they want to see you have a little bit of aggression and stuff like that, and they want to see you fight and stuff. Be wary of those people who just want to see you fight for the sake of fighting. Like, you're a lover, not a fighter, and that's just what it is. You like beauty and swimming and running along the beach, like horseback riding along the beach and stuff like that. Maybe you're even an equestrian. Like, you don't like boxing. That is not what you like. You don't like football. You don't like running and busting into people. Like, that is not your thing. And that is okay. And that is okay. And just accept that you may not be, especially if you're a man with this placement, you may not be the most masculine of the masculine men. It's okay. It's okay. Like, toxic masculinity is a problem anyway. Okay. And people need to learn how to, get in touch with their feminine sides anyway. But it's just, that's just a little, word of advice for that. I did not think that this video was going to be this long, but apparently the 12th house has me, all of these, the spirit is speaking to me. Okay. Spirit is speaking to me, and I'm just like regurgitating the shit out. Okay. So it's just coming out. So yes. So I'm sure I did also like miss some things as well, because but I did talk about work, and I talked about physical activity and spiritual physicality and stuff like that. So just mix a little spirituality with your workouts, and I think that will bode very well for you. Get your rest so you can have your energy, and you will. Just tell people, I can't go because I got to take a nap. That's important to you. Napping is important to 12th house energy, especially Mars in the 12th house. If you want them to be good for anything, if you want them to do anything, otherwise, they're not. And be careful of those controlled substances, as I always say, especially any type of stimulant to like give you energy, like a steroid, for instance, a performance enhancing drug or something like that. Be careful of that type of stuff, because that can really, like fuck you up as well. So I just had to say that. Let me know if any of this information resonates with you. If you happen to have this placement, let me know how this has personally affected you, or how it's affected anyone that you know. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe and share. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.